7 PLD 796, 7 NYJ 294, 8 TGF 569, CLX 8539, Arizona plate 89171S2, 5 AAK 736. Seven EZX 600. It is February 13, 2021. It's 9:28 a.m. BK J5855 or 885, substantially similar. 8 THB 599 1500464. Group stalking by the state in Sheriff's Department vehicle. 7 UNT 857. 7 GSK 078. 8 LDJ 190 or L90. I can't really see that one. In that sheriff's vehicle, along with the rest of them, they're on. Am I driving something? Oh, they're on HOLT Boulevard, driving east and west on HOLT Boulevard with what is impossible light activity, meaning as they're driving past, which is what I'm stating, it is no ordinary conduct. Lines of light and flashing light while they drive by. It is the same ridiculous indicator of being monitored by the state, whose stalking conduct is incessant. The Sheriff's Department, indicative of that. That is the state group stalking acting directly, okay? Every third party in relevant position is being documented acting with that entity. This is what I'm documenting. BH44W08, that's a paper plate. 6RTC424, 6NAU 657, 8T12581, 8RRV 419. 79545Z2. This group stalker is driving into B&G Plaza. I understand this is where I'm located. They're all monitoring right now under the state's concentrated light source. It is entirely intentional presence. The state is sounding sirens for these group stalkers to monitor to under its light source. This entire plaza, the ice skating rink where the state has placed its light source, this is all P.O.C. over here. This is speaking to my location and as to what they are all engaged in. As I've already shown at this time yesterday, where I was at Economy Inn and the state's light source, the fake sun was over that venue. I came from 2301 South Euclid Avenue. The state's fake sun is directly over B&G Plaza. This is how you know what they are doing while the state is stalking with its sirens. HFM 4434 Texas. Y205 handicap 18402K1, 8 PNP 517, 6 V70214, 4440 1X1, 6 DQF 829, 82139L1, 8 KUC 066, 7R GC 858. 7 RSD 738, AW71T62, that's a paper plate, 5 LOY 131, 7 MVA 051, 7 LKV 001. It is 9:31 a.m. and I will be seen walking past the driveway entrance after passing Andy's Burgers, where they are all monitoring inside of the restaurant and via the drive-thru and all in relevant position. This is while I'm walking east on the sidewalk, and I'll be seen on the surveillance cameras at the driveway, which is where I was reciting group stalkers license plates. 5NWG660. Group stalker exiting B&G Plaza, that is license plate 7WYR107. 7V PU086. 8JNH652. 6UIY269. 7 6NPW544, 7HHS 951, 8KUC 066, group stalker sitting in her car, now exiting as I am reciting her license plate, sitting in her vehicle, group stalking, awaiting my arrival. That is behavioral pattern 6Y74620. By the way, the fake sun is directly over her as she's walking toward the beauty salon. Okay, 2JLAG4, 6VNH589, AL69S20, paper plate 7ELW968, 5EKH652, 8CNH628, 6XFE161, 8DOJ200, 6J34695, BBE7706, that's a Arizona plate it looks like, yeah. 6 U.S.D 675, oh yeah, I think I read that one already, and I read these three already. All right, it is 9:33 a.m. And as I stated, as I was walking north on Euclid Avenue and the state's light source was directly over me, as I was at Belmont and the state was flying over my head directly, as I'm at the third-party facilitating venue of Fortress Church. Understand they're engaging in a satanic monitoring system. Do not ever be fooled by the title. The outward form, the guise under which they're engaged in criminal monitoring, because that's exactly what they were doing while the state was flying over. Group stalkers are patrolling inside of this venue on camera, which is also another means of documentation. This is 9:34 a.m. and this is P.O.C. Just want to repeat the license plate that I recited in video, 38180N2, who merely crossed paths in the parking lot on video to park in SCHIRO'S Liquor, and then he leaves the parking lot again driving by. That's that group stalker who knows every word that I was stating while his window was rolled up, while he stopped in the parking lot, because I'm documenting him engaged in P.O.C. and this psychopath walking around in her checker shoes and her cheetah bag with her hoodie on. Like I stated in the video, all she's doing is patrolling back and forth under the fake sun that is directly over B&G Plaza's sign, in direct conflict with where it was 24 hours ago when I was at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, and the state's fake sun was down south on Euclid over my head as I'm at Fortress Church, as I'm at Belmont and Euclid Avenue, as I'm at Rose Point Apartments, as I'm at Euclid Elementary School, as I am at Mission and Euclid Avenue remaining. Okay, at 11 o'clock it's over there. That is P.O.C. That's nothing new. This is another day of documenting and exposing what are criminals who are sex offenders and they're psychopaths, monitoring with the government. This is how the state monitors you. This is why fake sun is over B&G Plaza. Understand, this is a psychopath sex offender with minor children in his car, no less of a criminal, 8UHU000. This is a white male with 3 minor children in the back seat under a fake sun. Impossible light activity. Do not be fooled. A church engaging in a satanic system, a psychopath sex offender with minor children. It's all P.O.C. and this is how the state of California monitors you. He's pulling into 410 East Holt Boulevard at SCHIRO'S Liquor, monitoring with the rest of them. It's P.O.C. He's going to be seen on the camera, which I am also referencing. P.O.C. 9:37 a.m. A white t-shirt and gray sweat bottoms with a mustache. 9:37. And that's P.O.C. SHK 511, 7T30235. Omnitrans, that is, it looks like 2352. It is in relevant position, understand, and crossing path as I'm exiting SCHIRO'S Liquor. 8AJU992. This is 62389M1. It's 5TLV 095. 7 U.S. C614, 8MZM319, 7ETH442, 8PXA 773, 6M66807, 8MVL108, 71309Z1 or 71. That's a white truck. This is 7VPU086. I believe I read that one already, and I read this one, the Arizona plate, the BBE706, or substantially similar. She's driving out of B&G Plaza right now. This is all under what is the light source directly over, as I captured in video, as I have already documented its presence where I am at any time, both in the morning and in the evening. This is 6ZEG737, directly over this venue. All right, all they're doing is crossing path and they are molesting with the state. They're sex offending group stalkers. 8M 66095, 1974 9W2, 7NSU 529, 7U51 806, 6 KGT 706 coming out of B&G Plaza. These are the same people, that is the people of the state of California, the same group that are engaged in real-time monitoring, listening to you inside of any private space using the bathroom. While you're walking past any bus stop, a group stalker sitting on the bench. While you're walking on the sidewalk, any group stalker walking past you, riding past you on a bike, standing at the corner. They are not engaged in ordinary conduct, they're engaged in lining the path. This is group stalking and ceaseless operation. And the state is engaged in criminal facilitation for massive monitoring, which is why, as I have shown, the state is stalking with a light source. 8 HRM 462. It's currently 9:45 a.m. and SCHIRO'S Liquor, 410 East Holt Boulevard, a means of documentation showing the group stalkers walking inside of that venue. Group stalker passing 6C 35907. This is a group stalker that's intentionally waiting to cross path. Understand that vehicle is a means of audible activity as they are crossing path under the state sun, which is the creation of light activity as well. 7 BAL 731. When you are in movement under the state's concentrated light, under any light, but the state is engaging in creating a light activity on a massive scale with a fake sun showing itself and the people of the state of California who are engaged in the identical behavior pattern of stalking with light while they are stalking as well, maintaining group presence to be the psychopath that it is. And while touching necessarily with its light, a means of criminal activity of an unprecedented level, directly representing a threat to the very life while the government is monitoring you, and doing so through the people of the state of California. Every single last psychopath that is intentionally present that I'm documenting via license plate or address and or image. License BH98W13, that's a paper plate of a red Equinox in the Andes Burgers drive-thru. That is a means of maintaining presence, understand. They are listening to every word that I'm uttering. They are intentionally present under the state's light source. This is why the state's fake sun is here. 5 TRA 870, 8 TCE 540. They're monitoring at Enrique's income tax. Group stalker standing at the corner, group stalker engaging in creating light activity by driving into a driveway, reversing, staying in the middle of the street, 5MQD 429. 2858483. This is 6280. Let's see, 62804C3. Group stalker in a red Tundra truck coming from the back dead end street of Emporia. 8TSN 589. In case I didn't read that, they're all in Andy's Burgers drive-thru, sitting in their parking lot. They're just cockroaches just swarming all around. All of this under a fake sun. This is entirely intentional. Yeah, what? Of course you do. You need to create some light activity. 25808B1. Puritan Bakery. California 80047. License 7CQA328. License DK099. Handicap. All right, in Puritan Bakery with that California number that I recited, engaged in the ongoing behavioral pattern. Go on ahead, group stalker. Go on ahead. They're on camera. They're all in relevant position. This is proof of presence. While on both on my documentation and on the surveillance cameras. Puritan Bakery engaging in the behavioral pattern which Andy's Burgers uses for the third parties using their vehicle trucks, their commercial vehicles, to stalk with light using their hazard lights. The state engages in this, and understand the people of the state of California represent the state. The state engages in this chiefly at any time of day, but it is that which I've documented specifically where the state's fake sun is not out yet, and that is only because the state is engaging in trying to mimic a sun, which it is doing implausibly. So you're talking about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when, for example, when I was filing my petition against the court, against the state, which is the court, because the court is engaged in criminal conduct as well, but against the state, and the state's fake sun was not yet out. Andy's Burgers, acting via these third-party group stalkers using their commercial vehicles, whether they actually have a delivery to that venue or not, they are present in that same location using hazard lights, that's stalking with light, in order to line the path as I am walking to what is the bus stop. And this is the time of day. This is the crucial engagement in what is the element of stalking with light and maintenance of light. Understand, no commercial vehicle, no claim for having legitimate business is any form whatsoever, meaning there is no legal cause for escaping or what is engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring. And the state is engaged in that same exact pattern of conduct, and those vehicles engaged in that. That's what he's doing right now. 15242L2 while the state's amplifying train. 7J52374 touching with its headlights at the red light. 5L20311 monitoring. 8KNY998 monitoring and touching with light, creating light activity at the stoplight. That's P.O.C. 6LMY200. 7SSH238, substantially similar. 8TLV258, 7WUB 468, can't really see that. 5JUW484, 7WFW949, 8AIY611, 8KUC066, 59419Z1. Okay, all under the state's light source, 7LKV001, which is not the sun. Clearly captured directly over me as I am in the middle of what is Belmont and Euclid Avenue, and yet I have captured it even before that time right now, right here over B&G Plaza, as group stalkers are doing the same thing, sitting in their cars like 8KNY998 while the state was amplifying the sound of train activity. He's group stalking sitting in his car, which would be seen on the traffic cameras at Holt and Plum. While the state is amplifying, while I'm walking across the street, he's group stalking in the car. This is lining the path. This is acting in concert with Puritan Bakery, who's creating light activity in alignment using that commercial truck at the Andy's Burgers drive-thru. Okay, that's group stalking. 7ZTW110, 6FON938, 824441Z2, that's a paper plate, on a black Jeep Laredo. Coming down to the traffic cameras, 8FVPO97. (12135U2) 4NHC969. It's 9:52 a.m. CDP4 592. That's an Arizona plate. 7SJM 084. CQT 152. All right, and let's be clear. The state of California, the people of the state of California, which represents the vicarious actor, through whom that united, uniform group, they are a single group, identified individually at federal prosecution, engaging in group criminal activity on behalf of the state, the public entity, the state of California that is monitoring. Understand, they are engaged in the same criminal conduct, the same waging of a poignant threat. As I documented on video, what the state is doing right now, again, stalking via helicopter, in no way helping the people of the state of California who are facing a very fierce prosecution of epic proportions, okay? And engaging in this, which I documented in a video exceeding 9 minutes long, where the state is flying over me in a circle, repeating, that's monitoring. And as I also pointed out in the video, because it is also demonic activity, all right? Engaging in repeated flight in a circle over me at the Museum of History and Arts. And this is what I documented in the video, and this is nothing new. I have substantial documentation that I have already published of the state engaging in what is psychopath level stalking in a helicopter in direct violation of 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. That is direct conduct by a government intending to intimidate, harass, and place under surveillance with the criminal intent to do just that, placing under surveillance with that criminal intent to intimidate and to harass. Stalking by police is engaging in that criminal activity with the direct intent to try to intimidate. That's the ordinary pattern of conduct. While the state is flying over by helicopter, this is what a group stalker is doing, sitting in their vehicles, okay? This is P.O.C. This is license plate 8FSE418. All right, the same group stalker that I've already documented inside of the 280 North Lemon Apartments parking lot 8 SBY 496. Maintaining presence under those same circumstances, doing so by what? Standing outside of his vehicle as though he is engaging in repair. It does not matter what you're doing while you're present. That's audible activity. The state sounding planes. This is how you know what the state, and by the way, that's UPS. We already know that they're sex offending group stalkers, okay? Using instruments of interstate commerce, by the way, flying at low elevation directly over the Ontario Town Square, Metro 102 apartments and the Ontario Town Square townhomes right over this parking lot, okay? And when I'm sitting at the shaded area at the library, they're flying right over the 280 North Limit apartments because the state is stalking via aircraft based on where I am located and using third-party instruments of interstate commerce that are supplied to them. UPS represents the people of the state of California. UPS stalks via its vehicles as well. UPS is engaging in that same way, communication of a threat and shall be prosecuted and exposed as that which is monitoring and supplying instruments of criminal monitoring by a government. That is P.O.C. All right, that is nothing but the state engaging in the ongoing long-term documented pattern of stalking in an incredible method via aircraft, in addition to that which is by helicopter, and UPS providing not only their vehicles, their psychopath drivers that are using those vehicles, exposing UPS to be the criminal threat to American society, as opposed to that which is a complement and providing a benefit to society. They're monitoring American citizens. That's what my documentation shows. That's what the evidence shows. Okay, and this is why you've got UPS planes, not just today, but well documented, engaged in ongoing stalking everywhere that I'm at. This is not unique to UPS. This is just the state using that plane, further incriminating the people of the state of California and showing what UPS is engaged in. This is going toward Amazon as well. This goes towards FedEx as well, okay? They are providing those instrumentalities of what is monitoring, threatening an American citizen while you're monitoring, providing such tools for the purpose of criminal monitoring and intentionally doing so while the psychopath is listening to you document their criminal activity, okay? That's P.O.C., that's 9:57 a.m. And that is the plane hovering over the apartment while I am walking in the parking lot, okay? That is targeted conduct. And what I'm speaking to is the state flying over for excessive 20 minutes. I want to be clear, the state did not stop. My video shows I stopped the video at around 9.5 minutes. And prior to that, as I stated, the state was already engaging in that repeated conduct. That's a psychopath, by the way, but that's monitoring. That's monitoring conduct, and it is also satanic. That's a psychopath flying in a circle over and over and over again, and also communicating a threat as it is the government engaging in that psychopath level stalking while it's monitoring you, and doing that for 10 minutes prior to the moment that I began running the tape. And my tape runs for about 9.5 minutes, and the state did not stop flying over me by helicopter until 10:10 p.m. The state uses the train next as a means of audible activity. In addition, the helicopter begins again, and then stops again, and then flies over me again. This is just to let you know what occurred after I stopped running the tape. That is ordinary conduct. Ordinary in the sense that it's nothing extraordinary based on what my documentation has already exposed, okay? I just continue to capture what is direct evidence, directly incriminating every other third-party actor. Understand, the people of the state of California are prosecuted by it, but every third party individually, as a private individual, and those acting through their companies, understand this is all attributed to the totality of that group. This is why the state is stalking with light. This is how the state is stalking by the people of the state of California, and that is the state acting directly, stalking and monitoring, okay? Flight over me and following by helicopter is stalking. This is prolonged stalking conduct that's documented. Engaging in the amplification of that audible activity, that creation of audible activity is monitoring conduct, while that aircraft is creating ongoing light activity while it is literally flying in circles like a psychopath. And that, understand, even being a psychopath is not just name calling. This is relevant for punishment. This is relevant for the context with regard to the punishment of any other stalker. This applies to the prosecution of the government of the people of the state of California engaged in equally psychopath level conduct of stalking and monitoring, which is a satanic system, and it is indiscriminate of who is engaged in it. This is that which is occurring at all times, at all places, okay? It is currently 9:59 a.m. That's P.O.C. As I captured in video, the state engaged in P.O.C. via fire, ambulance, sirens, planes, and the state's fake sun over 280 North Lemon Apartments. Understand the library is monitoring as this is created directly in front of the library, and that is intentional conduct. Hi.
Hello. I'm just working on...
Yeah, what is that, an iPad? State's light source is directly over the venue. It's 10:05 a.m. It's Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. All right, I did just capture a couple videos. Number one, the state's fake sun in a completely, yet again, distinct, different location, in no way reconcilable with that which I've already published, and I've already shown how the state is stalking with light. And why is it stalking with light? Because, how is it stalking with light? With a literal fake sun, which is an oxymoron, but that is speaking to what is a psychopath, conjuring up such psychotic methods for monitoring systematically American citizens in concert with the people of that state. This is why you stalk with what is a fake sun. And how do you establish it as a fake sun? All you have to do is document what the state is engaged in with that fake sun, which any fifth grader with any rudimentary knowledge of the sun, its movement or about the earth, okay, and its natural behavior is able to decipher. This is not rocket science whatsoever. This is a matter of paying attention to your environment, and I have engaged in even further ongoing documentation, not only to prosecute, but to expose how a public entity monitors you. What I captured video of is the state stalking the psychopaths in fire trucks and ambulance vehicles, using both their lights and their sirens while they're engaged in the identical behavior pattern that they are doing all day, every day. Nothing different. I just captured it on video. They were doing absolutely nothing different, okay? They are engaged in P.O.C. Under what I captured is the state's fake sun, because 24 hours later, as I have already established, the state's light source was in an entirely different location where I happened to be as well. That is Rose Point Apartments, Fortress Church, where they're engaged in the demonic, criminal, malicious system of monitoring via communication devices, while, mind you, the state was doing the exact same conduct, flying over my head, flying all around by airplanes at that intersection, which was Palm and Belmont. Then I walked toward Euclid Avenue and Belmont, where the state continued to patrol over me. That is repeatedly flying over that, which is crossing path. Crossing path is significant with regard to what is monitoring. When you are monitoring, you're maintaining presence. And when you're monitoring on a massive scale, it is group presence, perpetual group presence in the path of that targeted individual. That's what the state is doing. And that's what the state is doing via the people of the state of California. And in that video is what I captured, the state which was stalking, present inconspicuously by fire truck, using its lights on its vehicle, while it's listening to me talk about the prosecution of the people of the state of California acting via Amazon Prime, UPS, who are supplying planes, which are, by the way, facilities of interstate commerce, which is also representing and communicating and reasonably construed as such a direct threat to the very life, physical safety, and overall well-being of that targeted individual that is in no way ignorant of the fact that it's being monitored. And this is the psychopath that is listening to every word, and this is the state directly. Okay, a fire truck appears at the turn circle, 280 North Lemon Apartments, the people of the state of California acting via 280 North Lemon Apartments. That is criminal facilitation. They're acting with that entity, and how doing so? Arriving by fire truck and ambulance. When this is the behavioral pattern, they will pull out a body, they will pull out hoses as though there's some fire. That's exactly what Jason Knight and L. Keys were engaged in with the fire department. There was absolutely no fire. And less than 6 days later, I was kidnapped. This is the behavioral pattern, and that's how you engage in what is presence when you're trying to appear as though you're engaging in what is a legitimate duty, which is supposed to be the excuse for your physical presence, which is legally irrelevant. This is the state acting directly. This is the state creating light activity, substantial light activity. This is the state criminally facilitating monitoring conduct by the people of the state of California. This is the state sounding sirens. This is the state engaged in that which is the documented ongoing pattern of conduct everywhere I go at all times, day and night, replete with the state flight over by helicopter and the state's light source. And 24 hours later, which is what I mentioned in that video, was the state's fake sun, which is right now captured over 280 North Lemon Apartments in an entirely distinctly different location, remaining over Mission and Euclid Avenue. Before that, over me at Belmont and Euclid Avenue. Before that, right directly over what is 2301 South Euclid Avenue, Economy Inn. And I have already documented thoroughly Economy Inn, okay? The prosecution of that third party in particular is already done, okay? The ongoing stalking, the ongoing criminal monitoring at that venue, including the state's fake sun, which remained over that parking lot, over my room all day long, which is in no way similar or going to coexist with being directly over the edge of 280 North Lemon Apartments as I am standing in front of the entrance of Ontario OVITT Family Library, as I'm standing at the turn circle of Lemon and C Street. That is not the same, and that is not possible. That is not coexisting at the same time. That is P.O.C. It's not even the same as being over the edge of the Wells Fargo building as I walk toward that building, and the state's fake sun is not over 280 North Lemon anymore. It's directly over the edge of Wells Fargo Bank. It's not even similar to being directly over on the west side of the history wall, of the big clock, while I'm sitting at the history wall at Ontario Town Square, let alone being directly over me as I'm sitting at the bench facing Euclid Avenue, and it's directly behind me, over me at 200 North Euclid. That is not similar whatsoever. The state's light source is placed, located. The state is dragging it, remaining over me where I go, stalking by light as it is stalking physically, by fire truck, by ambulance, by police, by plane and helicopter. And the state's flight over me last night for 22 plus minutes by helicopter at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts is no way and separate. First of all, it is directly related to the same criminal system, and it is in no way helpful or distinct from the same exact pattern of conduct where the state is always engaged in the same exact stalking conduct, okay? You have this is what I captured in video, and this is what I'm mentioning. I want to be clear. The state's use of UPS planes is what I was speaking to when the state was engaged in the blatant conduct, doing what it is always doing inconspicuously. It just did it conspicuously, which is using a fire truck, not even sounding any sirens. The state was inconspicuously present via fire truck, like there's some fire. And then as I walk up, the sirens that I was mentioning in the background suddenly begin that were prolonged. Okay, the state is always just driving around like the psychopath it is, just sounding sirens. They're psychopaths. They're monitoring, okay? And monitoring with all these psychopaths that are all standing around doing nothing but monitoring, focused on me, entirely focused on me. As the fire truck is just remaining at 280 North Lemon, this is when, as I am discussing P.O.C., then AMR, the psychopath that was just documented, engaged in the same exact stalking conduct, sounds at sirens and drives around the corner and arrives visually. And that is, as I'm speaking about, understand, this is the psychopath that is listening to what I am going to publish about its criminal activity. There is a level of insanity there, because you're engaging in criminal conduct, and I'm going to document it, and I'm going to publish it. And yet you engage in going haywire, psychotic, even more so. Because you are already psychotic stalking in a helicopter, and I literally have direct proof of it. You're flying in circles over American citizens in the middle of the night, and that is because you're monitoring, and you are a psychopath, okay? And you're monitoring with the rest of these psychopaths that are driving all around, standing all around, hiding all around at the museum while I'm sleeping all night long, okay? They're psychopaths, and they're engaged in group conduct. The state is listening to me document this on my podcast. This is why the fire truck is present. Sirens show up and get louder as I'm talking about what is the ordinary pattern of conduct while the state's fake sun is over 280 North Lemon Apartments, directly in conflict with where it was yesterday. Pay attention to the videos, because it's not the same position whatsoever, which is pointing to what the state is engaged in your face, which is what I have already established, okay? And this is the connection of all facts. A helicopter flying over me for 23 minutes at the museum, and flying over me at Mission and Euclid Avenue, where, mind you, the state's fake sun was directly over that intersection and remained there for over an hour as I stood there documenting them psychopaths that are driving past in the intersection, because they are not engaged in anything ordinary. It's systematic monitoring. And this is why the planes are flying over and hovering. And UPS hovering over the parking lot and Metro 1 and 2 apartments as I'm walking through there documenting third parties. The state's fake sun here. And moments later, after I'm speaking to what is a criminal threat to society, who are monitoring American citizens, UPS. And as I mentioned, FedEx and Amazon. Seconds later, Amazon flies directly over, and that is what I capture on video. Understand, and this is what I mentioned in video, it is a direct threat. This is a psychopath listening. That is the absence of coincidence. And you want to be clear, this is the true identity of these companies which represent the people of the state of California. because acting under any guise, Amazon is providing those instrumentalities. Understand the government, the state of California, is monitoring me through such facilities of interstate commerce, 18 U.S.C. section 2261A subsections 1 and 2, okay? And not only that, this is done with a direct intent to threaten and intimidate and harass while the psychopath is listening to me name that company. Seconds later, it flies directly over, which is criminal conduct. It's monitoring, providing audible activity for all the people of the state of California who are stalking, group stalking, to monitor me. Moments after, that's the absence of coincidence. All right, I just want to be clear because this is going on the internet and this is speaking to the true identity of what are these companies. Amazon, okay, FedEx, UPS. This is the true identity. They are monitoring American citizens, and intentionally so, and in no way getting away with it. It is my purpose, aside from the direct prosecution, to expose the true identity of what are psychopaths, what are criminals, and hiding behind a mask, okay? And this is the intentional communication of that by Amazon. They're going to be prosecuted for that. That is a direct and reasonably construed as such a direct threat while you're monitoring seconds after I'm mentioning your name because you're engaged in the identical conduct via UPS, USPS, FedEx, and these are couriers that engage in monitoring using their vehicles and their planes. And as I mentioned, that Amazon Prime flying directly over the same location where the state's light source is located, okay? The state can engage in covering up its light source all day long. It has already established what it's engaged in, okay? The state's fake sun is remaining over me all day long at Walmart at 1333 North Mountain Avenue. The state's fake sun is remaining all day long at Woodside Senior Apartments directly over apartment number 51. The state's fake sun is remaining all day long over 435 South Bonneview while I am at that venue. The state's fake sun is remaining all day long over the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, the shaded area, and placing itself right cozy in between the two buildings, which is the Senior Center and 280 North Lemon Apartments. And when I'm sitting at the shaded area facing Lemon and C Street, it remains directly over the edge of 280 North Lemon Apartments, remaining all day long. I have documented this. The state's fake sun remaining directly over me for the entirety of that day, where I remain at the bus stop, and then on the opposite side of the same building at D Street and Euclid at that bus stop, and the state's fake sun is directly captured there. That is not the same, not even whatsoever similar to even being over Ontario Town Square. It is distinctly captured in the images and in the video, okay? It is unquestionable. This is stalking with light. This is speaking to what Amazon is engaged in, okay? And guess what? The state's engaging in clouding up the sky to cover up its light source, which remains present all day long, in the same way that it remains present all day long is in no way any deviation from the pattern of conduct. It is showing you what the state is engaged in, how it is engaged in it, and I am in no way deterred to reveal what is the true identity of companies such as Amazon, FedEx, and UPS. They want to engage in threatening an American citizen. They want to engage in what is systematic monitoring of American citizens, and in no way hiding under that logo of their planes, under that logo of their vehicles, under the logos on the uniforms of their psychopath employees who are intentionally group stalking, representing the people of the state of California. That is exactly what they are engaged in, and they are engaged in what is sexually violent conduct in doing so. That's what I captured on video, and this is going to be published, and this is the truth, and I will go ahead and continue to shout it from the mountaintops because that's exactly what my documentation shows. That's exactly what they're engaged in, and this is exactly what they intend to communicate to me, so I'm going to make sure I publish that, which they are communicating to me while they're monitoring me. All right, and this is going toward punishment. This is going toward prosecution. That's P.O.C. It's currently 10:31 a.m. This is the state stalking by aircraft right here where I am, where the state's fake sun is right here, right where I am at the senior center. That's P.O.C. Just like I stated, UPS. The UPS plane used as a means to fly over me as I'm walking through the parking lot. The state using planes to fly over and threaten via Amazon Prime moments after I speak to that vicarious actor. Using its company names as a means of what is criminal facilitation. Understand, that's the guise under which they're engaged in what is stalking, but it is blatant stalking, whether you have an Amazon Prime logo on your plane or whether it is a completely blank government plane. It is stalking. It's the conduct, and that's stalking via Amazon Prime, who is also communicating a threat. entirely targeted conduct. As my phone drops on the ground, the state that is already present, stalking in this manner right here, immediately as the phone is on the ground in pieces, I'm putting it back together, flies directly over the same location. And this is me capturing via podcast and in pictures, so you could see the same stalking, targeted conduct, the Amazon Prime. This is what I'm speaking to. This is a communication of a threat. Using an Amazon Prime plane to do so is a communication of a threat reasonably construed as such, and that is the psychopath using the Amazon Prime. This is Amazon Prime's knowledge that its company is a means of the guise under which stalking and monitoring an American citizen. This is with knowledge. This is the absence of coincidence. Again, the same way that third-party group stalkers are driving past and impossible light activity is all over the place, that is, they're not ignorantly engaging in that. It's called concerted conduct, okay? That is called the provision of your planes, which are facilities of interstate commerce, which are serving an unprecedented level of criminal conduct, monitoring an American citizen. And coincidentally, so while that targeted individual is speaking to a specific third party, i.e. Amazon, and then an Amazon plane flying over your head, that's a direct communication of a threat. As I'm dropping my phone in pieces, the same deliberate, intentional conduct while the psychopath is engaged in monitoring, listening to everything that I am saying. I just want to be clear. And that's why I took a picture of that. That's why I'm putting it on podcast, because like I said, Amazon Prime, making a direct threat while they're monitoring me, okay? That's P.O.C. It is 10:37 a.m. (10:43, 10:44). Right now it's 10:45. So that's the succession of planes flying over as I'm turning on my T-Mobile phone. This is group stalking. The state also using the train, creating amplified audible activity while they're monitoring me inside of the library. They're monitoring as group stalkers are walking past, driving past. That's P.O.C. And they're flying directly where I am over this walkway where I'm sitting in between, under the shaded area, where the state's fake sun is also present as well. And again, it is 10:46 a.m. now. That is called monitoring. That's called stalking. All right, it is 11:11 a.m. I did reference the surveillance cameras inside of Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. You've got two group stalkers that enter into the bathroom. One enters into a stall, immediately starts making sound. Let me give you an idea of what they're doing. This right here. Fumbling with the toilet roll immediately upon entering the stall, and another one that's at the sink immediately starts using the sink, the faucet, and the dryer. This is the creation of audible activity, and I do reference the cameras as they walk out. That is bathroom monitoring, okay? Coming inside of the bathroom and creating audible noise while they are engaged in real-time knowledge of what I am doing. Entering into the bathroom while the psychopath sex offender, that is monitoring, is aware that you're present, is aware that you are in the bathroom, and is aware of your documentation of their sexually violent monitoring conduct. This is inside of Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. The security guard is in relevant position. She's an old white female. She's monitoring. Engaged in monitoring as I enter the library. She is by the desktop computers. Understand she's engaging in what is crossing a path. As I am expected to walk to the desktop to reserve a computer, she's engaging in relevant positioning. I'm just speaking to her directly. They are all in position as I am walking through the library. As I go to the bathroom, what you have are group stalkers that enter into the bathroom for purposes of monitoring. There is a third-party group stalker at the circulation desk wearing a red jacket, with the employee at that circulation desk. Again, somebody remains at that door, sitting behind the desktop, like the panel where they're with the electronic device, but mind you, that is also in relevant position to the bathroom. This is the creation of audible activity inside of the restroom for purposes of group monitoring, okay? That's P.O.C. That's sexual violence that they are engaged in inside of Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. The state is stalking, as I just showed, and as I have already established via aircraft monitoring to that conduct. This is intentional conduct inside of what is a quote-unquote private space for purposes of criminal monitoring, all right? These are the sex offenders that are driving by, that are listening, that are monitoring to this activity that is intentionally created, while, mind you, the government is coming inside of the bathroom and making all manner of noise while they are in relevant position for that purpose. That's P.O.C. It's 11:13 a.m. and I did reference the security cameras as those group stalkers exited the bathroom. right, it is 12:37 p.m. And that is me exiting Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. Security guard in relevant position. She's crossing path as I'm walking out. You have the door closure as the Asian female with the long black hair is crossing path, creating that audible activity while the security guard is positioning at the door. The ongoing presence of the state's light source, which are already captured in position over 280 North Lemon Apartments while the state is flying over by aircraft. This is ongoing while I'm inside. And what I captured is what is federal group stalking and monitoring inside of that venue, engaging in ongoing crossing of path in all fashions. You've got third-party group stalkers that are positioned on computers. You have the employees that are engaged in constant audible activity creation. That's what they're doing, and it is merely occurring indoors. Ongoing stalking conduct, group stalking conduct that I document outside is that which is ceaseless while they are creating constant activity inside, engaged in what is ongoing monitoring. And this is what I have captured, and that's what they're doing inside of that venue. Understand the sound of a loud growling child is a means of audible activity. Ongoing while I captured what is a group stalker standing on the opposite side of the glass window in alignment to me, monitoring, okay? All you are looking at is the means of creating noise, including using a child that is growling with simultaneity to my activity on the device, on the desktop, on my phones, which at the time I was Bluetoothing my files back and forth, and also at the same time the alternate method of audible activity was the sound of sirens as group stalkers are opening the entrance doors, as group stalkers are walking past me, which I also captured in images. It's ongoing monitoring inside of that venue while the state's ongoing stalking conduct is ceaseless, and that is what you call monitoring by the people of the state of California inside of that venue, which are also engaging in that identical behavior pattern while inside of the bathroom, all of which is documented on their own security cameras, which is the targeted individual's documentation for the prosecution of the people of the state of California who are systematically monitoring an American citizen in concert and on behalf of the public entity that is the state of California. It is currently 12:39 a.m. I'm sorry, 12:39 p.m. And that is P.O.C. Right, the images that I took are of a group stalker that is engaged in what is monitoring. He's standing in relevant position under the shaded area of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, and he does so with simultaneity to what I took a screenshot of, is opening up my share drive on Google in order to upload images. He is aware of this. This is why with simultaneity, which is the behavioral pattern, he arrives just loitering in relevant position, standing on the side. Understand, this is the government that is communicating a threat by that very conduct. That is group stalking, and he is present, engaging in what is standing around, just kicking the leaves on the ground. He's engaging in group stalking with knowledge of what I'm doing on my communication device, okay? That's POC, that's what I took a picture of. Understand that this is group conduct. He's not acting as an individual, and that is the behavioral pattern. Engaging in standing around, engaging in walking by, engaging in skating by, engaging in driving by, engaging in riding by on your bike, engaging in sitting on the bench. All they are doing is monitoring, and they are doing so with third-party group stalkers inside of Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, with the state that is continuously flying over by aircraft, with the state that is continuously stalking via police, fire, and ambulance vehicles. That's POC, and that's what I just took a picture of. Understand, this is ongoing, constant stalking conduct. It is 1:34 p.m. (1:42 p.m.) Flight directly over where I am, same position of the state's fake sun, right here at the side of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. Understand, the state is merely creating audible activity because it is flying nowhere. It is remaining present via aircraft. This is monitoring conduct. That is POC. It's 4:31 p.m. I did just take an image of what is a third-party group stalker, the people of the state of California, that is occupying the space underneath the shaded side walkway, and that is while the state is engaged in ongoing stalking. The state is in the parking lot. On my left, the state is engaged in ceaseless flight over where I am sitting, and you have a group stalker that's sitting on my right underneath this area, and this is while the state is engaged in ongoing monitoring. That's POC. That's what I took a picture of. She is not acting individually. She is just one. That is the people of the state of California. That is the government that stalks with light and wants to be around you, has to listen to everything that you're doing, be everywhere you are. That is what she's engaged in. She's engaged in monitoring. For purposes of what the criminal elements are, she's in relevant position. The state is creating amplified audible activity. The state is engaged in incessant stalking directly, and this is stalking vicariously. That is POC. It's 4:32 p.m. I'm capturing what is image of the state's fake sun, which remains in the same location, okay? These are group stalkers that are driving past at the turn circle. They're engaged in the exact same conduct that this group stalker is doing over here without a car, okay? The state is aiming impossible light activity. Underneath this shaded area, the state is engaged in ceaseless flight over this same location where the state's fake sun remains. And by the way, aiming light in the exact same location, not going anywhere. This is POC. All right, and this is what prefaces what is absolutely not normal conduct at all by group stalkers, the people of the state of California. And understand, this conduct that they are engaged in is represents a direct threat. This is not a normal individual. This is a psychopath, and this is a sex offender. This is one who is listening to every word that I am uttering. This is one that is intentionally present for the purpose of criminal monitoring in concert and on behalf of the government that is already proven to be engaged in stalking. It is stalking because it is monitoring. It is monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California, and this is the threat that engages in ongoing constant presence, engaging in that by sitting under the walkway where the state is aiming its light, impossible light activity, we're remaining with its fake sun, and this is P.O.C. It is currently 4:36 p.m.